Yeah, we've got non-essential.
Great, thank you. The California redemption value, or the CRV on our bottles and cans, affectionately known as the bottle bill, has been in structural deficit for several years, and we have been limping along, working from reserves, finding alternative things that have reduced cost, dealing with fraud, other issues. We're probably at a significant point where we really finally do have to make a major substantive fix to our approach to the bottle bill. That's a longer-term discussion, and there are meetings going on with Senator McGuire, myself, Assemblymember Lowe on this issue. But there's a short-term, immediate problem, and that has to do with the fact that with the value of scrap materials having dropped to record lows, and other factors, including increased labor costs, we've seen hundreds of convenient zone recycling centers and other traditional recyclers close since January. I think there's several hundred in Northern California alone. Many of these are in rural areas. There's also the prospect that more of these recycling facilities will close beginning in July, and that would be a particular impact in Southern California. There's also our supermarkets face a challenge, because when these recycling facilities at convenient zones close, the supermarket is responsible for take-back of material or the payment of a daily fine. And we have several hundred supermarkets around the state looking at potential of daily fines of up to $100 starting July 1st. The stakeholders that have been meeting with Senator McGuire and myself and Assemblymember Lowe on a broader term solution, longer term, they have come together with a proposal for a short-term solution. What I'm hoping we could do today is let them present that and give some consideration to it. Time is of the essence, given the July 1st clock that is ticking on the possible closure of additional facilities and the impacts to the supermarket and retailers. So, Mr. Chair, if with your indulgence, perhaps the proponents would like to make some comments.
Yes, please. Welcome.
Mr. Chair, members, Mark Murray with the Environmental Group Californians Against Waste. I think that actually your committee staff have summarized the problem quite succinctly, and in the staff comments, the summary of this kind of temporary short-term solution. So the problem is that we have 331 closed recycling centers. Most of those are in Northern California. Most of those are in rural areas. Folks can't get their money back. Folks are not recycling as much, and we've seen a decline in the recycling rate. We want to fix that immediately. The old notion of saying, well, let's just have people take it inside the store and not have a recycling center doesn't really work anymore. It's not convenient for the consumer. It's not convenient for the retailer. So the idea is to take some of the savings, not increase expenditures, take some of the savings from the fact that people haven't been recycling as much, use that to provide some incentives in the rural areas and those centers that are unserved, work on a broader solution during that window, exempt the grocery stores from having to take the containers inside the stores so we don't have to focus on that enforcement and that not solution, and instead focus on building that convenient recycling center-focused opportunity throughout the state again. Urge an aye vote or support the staff recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Louis Brown on behalf of the California Grocers Association, also here to support the staff recommendation and thank Assemblymember Gordon, Senator McGuire, and Assemblymember Lowe for looking at the longer-term solution. But as was stated, this short-term solution is absolutely necessary. For our members, it could mean anywhere for $36,500 for the smaller independent stores, up to several millions of dollars if we don't receive this short-term fix for the larger chain grocers. We want to stay involved with the larger solution, but appreciate your consideration today for this short-term solution to allow us to stop the bleeding and focus on the real substantive issues that we need to focus on, like what is convenience in 2016 versus to what it was 30 years ago, and allow us to look at some of the pilot programs and different ideas that can actually allow individuals to recycle their containers without that connection to a supermarket, and create some flexibility and some new age thinking in this program. So thank you very much, and we ask for your support.
Mr. Chairman and members, John Latimer on behalf of the California Retailers Association. I certainly associate myself with the remarks of Mr. Brown. I would also, add and clarify that we will stay at the table. The solution that this is, well pointed out, is a temporary solution. All parties, retailers and grocers included, will continue to have to work on a longer-term structural fix for the entire program. I'd also point out that the relief given relative to in-store take-back by consumers, by grocers and retailers, is limited only to those centers that were closed recently. So we still bear the responsibility in other areas as appropriate, and the authority of the department to continue to work with us on a case-by-case basis, site-by-site basis is maintained. So we feel this is important, limited relief as it relates to the risk of taking containers back from zones that were closed through no fault of the retailer, but also at the same time supporting the infrastructure to be sure that we don't see any more of those sites closed while we work on the global solution. So we appreciate the efforts of the staff and Mr. Gordon. Thanks very much.
Mr. Chair and members, Erin Niemela representing Replanet. We are the largest convenience zone recycler in the state, and 200 of the closures since January that are recounted in the committee analysis. This is absolutely important for keeping the recycling infrastructure open, necessary even. And I think Mr. Brown said it best when he said it will stop the bleeding. The goal, of course, is to freeze rates so we don't have additional closures in response to the commodities crisis that is very much underway. I just wanted to add, we really appreciate and wanted to thank the work of the chairman, Mr. Gordon, the staff, the committee for engaging so heavily in this issue and spending so much time and energy trying to come to some sort of solution, short-term solution for this crisis. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Jason Schmelzer here on behalf of the City and County of San Francisco and Mayor Ed Lee. Obviously, in support of the staff recommendation, I want to associate myself with the comments that have been made. For us, very much, as was mentioned earlier, the notion of convenience is much different today than it was decades ago, and we would love to participate as a pilot and really serve as an incubator for the ideas that are to come. So, thank you.
Thank you. Department of Finance or LAO, any comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Andrew Hull with Department of Finance. For the record, we understand the problem and would like to note our concern with the proposal. These proposals would result in cost to the program. The BCRF is in a structural deficit, and CalRecycle estimates the proportional reductions are likely in 2017-18. With the additional costs, this action could accelerate the timing of proportional reductions, and the administration is committed to comprehensive reform that creates long-term stability for the fund.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Ashley Ames with the Analyst's Office. We haven't looked at this specific proposal, but we did recently identify some of these options in a web post looking at some of the closures, and we've also recommended considering a pilot in the past. We would just note that some of the details will be important because of the noted issue with the fund conditions. As you move forward with the language, you'll just want to be sure that whatever is finalized won't have a negative impact on the fund.
Thank you. Is there any additional public comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gareth Elliott here on behalf of the Allen Company, which is a privately owned and operated recycler in Southern California. We support this temporary effort to try to ensure that some of the convenience zone operators, particularly in the rural areas, can remain open. But we would like to see some better protections put in place to prevent the misuse of handling fees, particularly in the non-rural areas. So, thank you.
Thank you. That brings this issue back to us. Mr. Gordon, I want to thank you for taking this issue on at the last minute. I think a lot of this came together just in the last couple of weeks. It's amazing how a crisis can help bring people together to at least provide some kind of a solution, and I think that's what's happened here. This is the overall issue regarding the bottle bill has bedeviled many members and many people here in Sacramento for quite a few years now. So hopefully this will be the beginning of a reformulation of the entire package of fees and the way we administer this program. Mr. Gordon, did you want to add any comments or make a motion?
I would move the staff recommendation to approve the placeholder trailer bill language.
We have a motion and a second. We'll proceed to vote.
Bloom.
Aye.
Bigelow. Gordon. Patterson. Williams.
Thank you. So that takes us to the item that we pulled. That's issue number 13 from the vote-only calendar. We'll have a hearing on that now. So, for those of you who are just sitting down, thank you all for waiting to the end of our hearing. We have, in fact, already had a hearing on this particular issue, so I don't think we need to have a presentation again. There may be questions or things that you all can respond to, but it was either Mr. Patterson or Mr. Bigelow, I think, asked that, or both asked that this item be pulled and brought back, and I think that's based upon an issue that one or both of you would like to present, or a proposal that you wanted to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe our staff has distributed a paper with some of the issues that we outlined. Essentially what we were looking at is that this is a $10 million line item to just service bottled water within our schools. And it seemed to us that there should be some additional flexibility that would allow some of that money to be able to be utilized for more than just bottled water, but to have the same outcome of providing clean, healthy drinking water to those facilities. So what we were looking at was, you know, from case to case, there would be an ability to have flexibility. And that would allow someone, maybe it's just as simple as a filtration system that's in-house that would be less expensive than buying bottled water for an entire year. So would they be denied from being able to utilize funds because they were buying bottled water and they were limited to that? They could put this filtration system in, resolve their issue, and move forward. Maybe it's installing a point of entry to point of use type of device. Maybe it's a new drinking fountain in an area that would simply be resolved and would be much cheaper for the taxpayers of the state of California. So anyway, I was thinking about just a little bit of flexibility with that $10 million to be utilized in here without being so limited. That's what I was hoping to accomplish here today.
So it's my understanding that, Mr. Bigelow, you're asking that we adopt language that is similar to that is in AB 2124 that is authored by Assembly members Eduardo Garcia and Lackey. I think there's some very good provisions that are in that proposal, but our staff really hasn't had an opportunity to review them. So I think it's a little bit premature, but if we vote for the staff recommendation, this issue is going to move forward. It's going to be in conference, and there's an opportunity to consider all these points and make it part of the ultimate proposal. Mr. Gordon, did you have a comment?
No, you clarified something very. If the staff recommendation does move this to conference, I see a couple of advantages to that. One, we'll know by Friday through the Appropriations Committee process the status of AB 2124, and it will give our staff, budget staff, time to work to get what I think is some appropriate flexibility. And I think Mr. Bigelow's got an interesting point. I'm comfortable with the staff recommendation since it allows this to continue to move forward in a way that will create the opportunity for the additional flexibility through the conference committee process.
So to be clear, the Senate does not have a proposal on this issue, so it will absolutely go to conference if we pass the staff recommendation. Mr. Bigelow.
And I'm supportive of that. I'm just putting on the table so that we can have these points and get to them. Maybe the bipartisan effort that our fine two other fellow members have pushed forward may or may not make it out, but we can help resolve that issue in conference through this action. So I'm showcasing the flexibility and the ability to work. So I'm willing to work with the chairman and the staff to make sure that we resolve this issue and get that kind of flexibility.
Right. Mr. Patterson.
Notwithstanding the uncertainty of the bill that we're discussing, as Mr. Bigelow says, I think that sets a very significant policy template, even if it is rejected for one reason or another. And I think the flexibility for local decision making with respect to a variety of menus to fix the problem, I think they're in the position to best know how to do it so that water goes to people who need it.
Thank you. And let me point out that we've been working with the same advocates that have been working with the proponents of AB 2124. I think some of them are here, so we should allow them an opportunity to speak. Before that happens, Mr. Williams?
I just wanted to make one observation. So my understanding from the staff report is this is not for water, bottled water, but for water filling stations. Is that true?
That might have been my term
great.
of use.
Yeah.
It's water stations.
Yeah.
Clarify that.
Which are
record.
Kind of like just, fancy drinking water fountains. If you look at them, they're just, more high-tech drinking water fountains. So my sense is that these proposals might not be as different, but I understand the desire for a little bit more flexibility.
Thank you. Why don't you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brian Augusta on behalf of Rural Community Assistance Corporation, one of several organizations who have been working both with Mr. Lackey and Garcia on their bill 2124, but also with the budget staff on this proposal. I just want to clarify one comment by Mr. Bigelow, which we would be supportive. I think what the issue that you're raising is, do they need a water bottle filling station or do they just need filtration? And I think that's something that we're also supportive of. In a lot of school districts, they need both. And these water bottle filling stations really encourage kids to drink too, because they can get a water bottle and fill it up and keep it with them all day. But we're supportive of that flexibility. But our strong, we would urge that we not take an action to adopt any language here, or that you not take action to do so, so that we can continue to work on the language. We've been having discussions with stakeholders about what exactly the program should look like, and we desire to see it have the same flexibility that you're describing, but there's still some work to be done on that, and I think we can do that between now and conference and continue to have the bipartisan support on this issue that we've had. So that would be our strong urge, that we move the staff recommendation as it is in the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Asha Kryling with Community Water Center. I will just echo everything that Brian just said, and thank you, Mr. Williams, for clarifying. This recommendation is for water bottle filling stations with or without filtration when needed for schools without access to safe drinking water currently. I'd just like to say that Community Water Center, along with a growing group of drinking water advocates, as well as environmental justice and public health groups, are very happy to see this recommendation today, and we are very supportive of the staff's recommendation. I just want to say that we have been working very closely with Assemblymember Garcia's office to improve the scope of the language of AB 2124, so I would agree that we need additional time to better hone that language and adopt that later. Thank you.
Tracy Patterson, California Food Policy Advocates, also here in strong support as the recommendation as listed. We believe it does have that flexibility and that we will have time to work this out in conference. Urge you to move this forward. We believe that getting fresh, clean water to children in schools is of utmost importance, and that moving this issue forward will help us get there. Thank you.
And Kula Koenig with the American Heart Association, representing the public health realm here, and just urging the subcommittee to move forward with the staff recommendation. Thank you.
And Vern Gehring with Food and Water Watch, an organization working for clean water nationwide. And we support the proposal going forward as it is. We actually, like Mr. Bigelow's suggestion, we would go a little further and say the money should actually not be used to buy just bottled water, the limited short-term thing. We want a longer-term fix included. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to thank Mr. Bigelow, Patterson for providing us with the opportunity to look at this language from AB 2124. I think it's clear from the comments we've received and the discussion here around the dais that if we pass the staff recommendation, we will be in a situation where this is going to conference, and there is time between now and then to continue to work on the language and integrate some or all of the thinking that is in the bill. So my thinking is that we should move forward with the staff recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, if you would,
Mr. Bigelow.
I would offer you that motion to move the staff recommendation forward completely with the understanding as you've outlined.
Thank you. We'll proceed to our last vote of the session.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Oh, well, see, not quite.
We just had Philip Chen, Department of Finance. We just wanted to note that as we haven't seen this proposal yet, we don't have a position on this, and that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Didn't mean to cut you off. Does LAO have comments? No. All right. Mr. Gordon? No, we have a motion and a second. We're going to vote before Mr. Bigelow leaves. Mr. Patterson's ready to go. Let's do it. Aye.
Bigelow? Aye. Gordon? Aye. Patterson? Aye. Williams?
Aye. And as our two Republican members leave the room, let me thank everyone who has served this year on the committee for the time and effort you've put in and all the work that we've been able to accomplish.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for your leadership today and understanding and flexibility working with all of us who cannot always be in committee for every single item, and as you understand the conflicts. But thank you for your leadership.
I didn't call on you, Mr. Bigelow, but thank you anyway. And we are adjourned.